Hello and welcome back on our latest Diablo 3 1.0.5 patch note hunt. Most of the information disclosed so far by Blizzard we have already covered in the previous video, and right now I want to have a closer look at the sea of nerfs, latest rebalancing efforts. These changes will be focused on the most important defensive skills on each of the classes. As we know, they just hate so-called mandatory skills, and they are not afraid of nerfing them to the ground, even if this will affect every single player in the game, which will be pretty much the case now. We also have to mention that at the same time they are also nerfing the incoming damage to compensate for the loss of defense. Now the goal of all of this is of course more skill diversity, in a whatever it takes sort of approach. This is actually a great goal, and the changes can even bring the game closer on achieving just that. At the same time, it's a bit of a double facepalm moment for me, as I find it absolutely ridiculous that the monsters get nerfed for the 26th time by now, while it's also a bit sad that they are going back to nerfing instead of buffing, like they mostly did try in the last patch. I mean, for crying out loud. Probably it's no wonder that the comments have been disabled in the post where they announced all of these changes. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, this is not a hate video, sorry to disappoint, so let's go over the major changes for all classes real quick. This will be easy, because there are more or less only major changes. But nonetheless, I will not mention every known change. For full details, please find the link to the original post in the description below. The first class to get a kick in the butt will be the Barbarians, where Warcry's Impunity rune will get stomped to the ground. The previous 50% bonus to resistances will be more than halved, down to 20% only. Ouch, I guess that's one way to incentivize people to consider an alternative skill as well. Demon Hunters will actually get a general overhaul, as it seems, to allow for more diversity. As an example, some of their pets will now be able to tank for them, and in general their survivability will also be increased with some skills. Of course, their main defense skill will get nerfed as well. Shadow Power's Gloom rune will have its damage reduction reduced from 65% to a mere 35%. Next up are the Wizards, who get it pretty hard as well in the face, once again with a double nerf. Energy Armor, which is pretty much our signature spell, will have its armor bonus reduced from 65 to 35% in general. Also, Blizzard was kind enough to nerf the most popular rune in addition to this. Prismatic Armor will now increase our resistances by a mere 25% compared to the current 40%. As a wizard from day one, honestly, I'm not even willing to comment on this one. Monks are lucky bastards once again, as one with everything will be spared once more, which is probably a world record with Blizzard. At the same time, they made a comment on it once more, so sooner or later they will touch it for sure. Now, of course, they had to be nerfed as well in some way, so Seize the Initiative will receive a modest reduction of cutting the armor bonus in half. Your dexterity will now only give you a 50% bonus instead of the current 100%. Last one is a quick note about Witch Doctors, where Jungle Fortitude's damage reduction will be reduced from 20% to 15%, just to share our pain. Wow, this was even painful to summarize. Now, they say that with the reduced damage, the changes will actually feel like a buff. If that's true, they might actually just really help out, bringing a lot of new builds to life, which would be great. Let's keep our fingers crossed, guys, that's the only thing we can do. Alright, ladies and gents, that was it for this video. I hope you won't get nightmares, this was some pretty scary stuff indeed. Nonetheless, if you are interested in future patch notes and in general Diablo 3 content, don't forget to subscribe, and I see you soon in one of our next videos.